Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Watering the Soul podcast, where God's truth seeps deep, roots run wild, and the soul learns to grow again. It is your host, Kayla, and it has been a minute. I've missed you guys. College got chaotic, per usual, but we are back just for a little bit until I go to my full-time job next week. But here we are. So, a little announcement. I got a full-time job this summer, so I won't be as active on this as I haven't been. However, there will be content being posted on my Instagram account. So if you guys want to follow me at watering the soul _, that is me. It'll have my logo and everything, okay? Today's content is going to be learning how to abide in the vine. So, you guys, it's been a minute. There's so much going on. There has been so much going on. And the Lord has been nothing but good and nothing but faithful. So I'm really, really, really excited just to talk about it and be here. So the Lord has had me in John chapter 15, verses 1 through 9. So as you guys know, I went through one gnarly breakup last semester. And, well, technically last semester from speaking school terms, but last year in November. And that was a very, very hard and rough time for me. I talked about in a couple episodes what I was doing to grieve, how I did it, etc. And what I didn't tell you guys is the Lord has put the word abide everywhere. The word abide means to sit, dwell, or remain. And as I had started the new year, grieving, processing, doing everything of the sorts, I asked the Lord where He wanted me to be for 2026, and He put me in John 15, and I said, okay. So I was okay, like, are you like for sure? I am the type of person that's like, okay, Lord, like I got it, I could do it. However, what are we doing? And he came through as he always does and was like, hey, you're gonna be abiding in me and learning how to do so through John 15. So the Lord has been teaching me to abide, which is something that I did not know what that really looks like. Abide simply means to sit, dwell, or remain. So we're going to read John 15 real quick, verses 1 through 9, and go from there. So it says, I am the true vine, and my Father is the vine dresser. Every branch in me that does not bear fruit, he takes away. And every branch that does bear fruit, he prunes, that it may bear more fruit. Already you are clean because of the word that I have spoken to you. Abide in me, and I in you. As the branch cannot bear fruit by itself, unless it abides in the vine. Neither can you unless you abide in me. I am the vine, and you are the branches. Whoever abides in me, and I in him, he it is that bears much fruit. For apart from me, you can do nothing. If anyone does not abide in me, he is thrown away like a branch and withers, and the branches are gathered, thrown into the fire, and burned. If you abide in me, my words abide in you. Ask whatever you wish, and it will be done to you, and done for you. Sorry. By this my Father is glorified, that you bear much fruit, and so prove to be my disciples. As the Father has loved me, so I have loved you. Abide in my love. Again, I have been learning what it means to truly, truly abide. The rest of the chapter actually ends up talking about the greatest commandment, which is to love. And we can talk about that a whole nother time because I love love. I can talk about that all day, any day. Okay. However, I want to solely focus on verses 1 through 9. So, as I've mentioned like 2 minutes ago about my breakup that happened in November, um, it killed me for about not even a month. It killed me for a couple months. I was depressed, anxious, frustrated. I felt unworthy to be loved. I felt disgusted, angry, and a multitude of other emotions that I felt, and it was rough. I have heard of John 15 before. So when I was talking with the Lord and he brought that up, I'm like, well, yeah, abide in me and I in you. Like, what do you want me to get out of this? Because I'm over it. I never fully sat with that chapter. I never fully sat with John 15. Hence the word abide, which is really funny and ironic. But through the scripture, the Lord has taught me what it looks like to just sit and to be still with him in his presence, in his holiness, in his glory, in my sadness, in my pain, my frustration, my joy, the multitude of emotions that I was sitting with. And I'm gonna be real with you guys, it's so hard for me to sit still. Like, he's like, hey, you need to sit. And I'm like, ooh, right now? Yeah, no, I got homework. I have this to do. I have this assignment. I have to go serve. I have to go do this. And I was running all over Timbuktu just trying to do anything but sit with my emotions. And again, as I told you guys before, if I can do anything, I know how to pray. Hey, Lord, I'm going to do this. I love you. Spend time with you today. Here's my 5 minutes, blah, 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 blah. Or, God, here I am. I don't want to talk to you, but I thank you for waking me up. And just et cetera, et cetera. And the thing is, though I was serving him, I was running from him. I was serving, going to young adults, getting plugged in, going to school, serving at school, but I was never truly abiding in him. I was trying to do everything else but abide, but to sit, but to dwell. And that poses the question that I want to ask you. How many of us know how to pray, but we don't know how to linger and listen? Because prayer is a conversation. Prayer is not simply us asking God for something, but it's also making the space for him to speak. It is a conversation. Like, this is me talking at you, but you could probably pause, like, yeah, that's good. Like, what do you mean by that? Blah, 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 blah. Again, how many of us know how to pray, but not know how to linger and listen? As I have been learning to abide, there have been two things that helped me. One, sitting outside in God's creation. When I do my homework, when I read the Bible, I realize I cannot do it in my bed. I cannot do it in my dorm because I will fall asleep. My bed, I don't know what it is, guys, just the Lord's holiness. My bed is anointed. And the moment that I touch that thing and I try to do anything in it, I'm asleep. I cannot do that. So I go and sit in his creation because I'm more awake. I feel more comfortable reading and acknowledging him in his creation. Like, I'll pray in my bed, I'll wake up, I'll do what I need to do. But if I'm going to truly spend time with the Lord, I have to be outside or anywhere that is not my bedroom or my dorm. Okay. And then two, what's been such a blessing for me is that my university actually has a prayer chapel for students. So, like, we'll have our chapels 4 days a week, but we actually have a actual student prayer chapel, which I absolutely love. And that became my home in late February. I knew about it. I just never went in until then. And when I'm in there, it's really just me, my thoughts, and God. Occasionally there's some students in there, but I pay no mind because it's like, yo, this is me and God right now. This is where I'm at. This is where I'm going to be. I never liked sitting with my thoughts for the reasons of, if you guys haven't heard my testimony, my thoughts got so bad to the point where I wanted to end my life. I was self-harming, thinking about suicide, contemplating writing letters. Like, I've been there. However, with learning to abide with God, just because I'm afraid of my thoughts doesn't mean God is. And my thoughts, you guys, my thoughts can be very jumbled, very all over the place. They could be like weeds that are consistently growing. One thought comes, a weed sprouts up. Another negative one comes up, and another weed sprouts up. And it's a lot going on. And not only do the weeds grow, but they grow rapidly and very unhealthy. And it sucks. And instead of asking God for help, we do what humans do and we try to fix it ourselves. And the thing is, though, I get hurt trying to pluck my own weeds because I look at the weed and I'm like, dang, bro, you shouldn't have grown. And then another one sprouts up. The next thing you know, I'm choking. The weeds are choking me. They're choking my positivity. They're choking the woman that I know God created me to be. And so because of that, I get encompassed by the weeds. And after that, like, I sat here as I try to keep fixing myself, I realized I cannot abide in myself because I am imperfect. I cannot abide in my mom because she's imperfect and she's doing her own thing. I can't abide in my boyfriend because he's doing his own thing. He has things that he needs to navigate and figure out as well. And the only person I could abide in is God, because with God, there is fruit that can be born. Yeah. You guys, the only person that is perfect is God. When I abide in him, there's fruit. There's love and joy and peace and patience and goodness and kindness and gentleness and faithfulness and self-control. And it's so comforting to know that. Why is it comforting? Let's look at verse 8. By this my Father is glorified, that you bear much fruit, and so prove to be my disciples. When we bear fruit, we are bearing God's kingdom. We are bearing his image. We are bearing his signature. To bear witness in the Greek, the Old Testament is Hebrew, the New Testament is written in Greek, is martuero. So martureo, which actually means to testify or give good news or give good testimony. So, fun fact also, just to put a pin in it, this is actually where the word martyr comes from. Just for you guys to hold on to that. Back on track. When we abide in Jesus, we actually become more like him. And so, with becoming more like him, he mentions in verse 1, he mentions that God is the gardener. So, my version says the vine dresser, other versions say gardener. But the gardener then continues in verse 2, prunes so that one can produce fruit. So it says right here, I am the true vine, my Father is the vine dresser. Every branch in me that does not bear fruit, he takes away. And every branch that does bear fruit, he prunes, that it may bear more fruit. Right? To prune, guys, means to cut away dead or superfluous branches / parts from a plant to improve growth. Abiding in the vine is uncomfortable because we don't get to just sit there and look pretty, but okay, I abided in Jesus one day, now here's fruit. No, it is a continuation. Trees are consistently growing, and in order for them to grow healthily, at least the ones when we plant them, we have to prune them, we have to cut them to make sure that they're going to bear more fruit in the future. Yes? So when we abide in Jesus, right, the true vine, that is who he is, we are killing the desires of our flesh. We are killing the desire to lash out. We are killing the desire to be lazy. We're killing the desire to retaliate when God says vengeance is mine. There's a lot of things that are being killed when we abide in the vine. And it is uncomfortable because as we abide, our flesh is fighting like, okay, no, but I want to do this instead. Instead of reading your Bible, you're going to want to do something else. Keep killing your flesh, keep denying your flesh. The more that you abide in Jesus, the more fruitful you're going to be. The more you're going to see love, joy, peace, patience, goodness, kindness, gentleness, faithfulness, and self-control. The more you abide in Jesus, the more you become like him. Be like Jesus, become like him, do as he did. That is John Mike Comer's book. If you guys really want to read it, I highly suggest it. It's such a good book. But those are the 3 points. Be like Jesus, become like him, do as he did. You guys, when we abide in him, we become more patient, less angry, more loving, less hateful. We become more like him when we abide, when we sit and dwell and actually process properly. You guys, God cuts away all the things that do not glorify him from you so you can bear and steward the fruit that he has called you to bear. Again, God cuts away all the things that do not glorify him from you so you can bear and steward the fruit that he has called you to bear. When God had called me to abide and to genuinely sit still, I wanted to fight him so bad. Be like, brother, you know all my issues. You know all the trauma that I have faced in my last relationship from my dad. You know everything. I don't want to sit in this. I don't want to process all of that. But the thing is that when I sat with him, that's where he got to actually talk with me and be like, hey, this is what you're dealing with. This is the trauma that you need to get through. Let's do it and heal it together. Because when I was running all over Timbuktu, I was still in community. I was still going to chapel. I was still going to church. I wasn't truly sitting and realizing like, dang, like this actually hurt me. Or this didn't hurt me as much as I thought it did. Or it did hurt me more than I thought it did. Because there was trauma that God was like, hey, we got to take care of this. We need to fix this. And I'm like, ooh, yuck. What do you mean? I don't want to do that. I'm too broken. I'm too hurt. I'm finally feeling like me again. And now you're telling me that there's more hurt that I need to take care of. But when I abided in him and had these conversations, because I was upset, all I could do was sob. All I can do was cry and feel because I'm like, dang God, like, you don't want to just heal me. You want to make sure fully that I am new from the inside out. You don't want to half heal me, be like, okay, yep, you're healed enough. Now you go do this. No, with God, there is no half restoration. There is full restoration. There's no half redemption. There's full redemption in Christ. He revealed so much that I did not know that needed to be revealed. He wanted to cut off the dead branches out of me so that I could grow more fruitful. He revealed unforgiveness, trauma, self hatred, and so many other things. So when I finally laid them down at his feet and I repented and I journaled and I forgave those who hurt me, and I even forgave myself for not doing anything sooner, I started deleting pictures. I started removing myself from situations where I'm like, okay, girl, like, God's calling you to do something. He's calling you higher. You got to take a step back. And I did. And I will say thank you to God again and again and again for telling me those things. Because when I finally forgave those who hurt me, repented, journaled, deleted pictures, and fully opened the door to be like, okay, God, you could come in and do what you need to do in me. God literally revealed so many beautiful things because of my obedience and willingness to let him in and actually heal. I'm laughing because he's just so good. I will forever thank God for the things that he did and revealed so that he could finally use me to the fullest and show me what he had in store for me. You guys, I know abiding is difficult. Trust me, because a lot of us can't sit down. And if we're going to give our full attention to something, it's usually our phones. Let's be real. Let's not lie now. However, I want you guys to here's a little challenge actually for you guys. Sit still for 3 to 5 minutes after you pray and just listen. Just listen to what the Lord is trying to reveal to you. Kayla, what if nothing happens? Then just sit in that silence for 3 to 5 minutes, knowing that the Lord is with you and he heard your prayers. Don't talk, just listen. Because when I do that, like, I have a whole process. I'll wake up, I'll praise the Lord, give him thanks for waking me up because it's not my alarm that woke me up. And then there's days where I grab my Bible, there's days where I just have to get up and go. But when I sit down and talk with the Lord, I sit and I read, but I just sit in the silence and let him speak to me. He usually doesn't speak to me until post reading my Bible, but I give him that time, whether it's 3 to 5 minutes or it's 2 hours. Me and God be yapping, y'all. I'm a yapper. We got that on log. Okay. Second, you guys can journal. I usually open up in prayer. I sit for a second and then I journal everything that I'm feeling. And God actually will start talking to me, and I'll stop my entry and just start writing down what he's saying to me. For me personally, he also speaks through songs and song lyrics. So like sometimes I'll be praying and a song lyric from a worship song or a love song will come up and I'm like, okay, Lord, I'll write that down. And then if it keeps playing, then I play the song and I just sit. And it happened to me a couple times, a lot of times, but there's a time I was in the prayer chapel and it happened, turned on the song and I just started weeping. And it was such a beautiful and holy moment, you guys. Oh my gosh. But it was so nice. Again, abiding is hard and abiding is going to vary for every single person. I know some of you guys are parents, some of you guys are students, some of you guys are working. I understand. However, know that abiding in the Lord is obedience. There is so much that overflows when you abide. There's so much fruit that gets created and that overflows when you abide in him. When you abide in the vine, you become stronger, more whole, and more like Jesus. And I think that's such an honor and such a blessing. Keep your head up. God is doing so much and he's just getting started, okay? As I always say, stay safe and stay blessed and stay hydrated. If you guys want to see more content or just see the little that I am doing on Instagram, my @ is literally watering the soul _ and it has my little icon / logo. There it is. And I'll be there. And if you guys need prayer or have prayer requests, my DMs are open, okay? I'm here. If you guys need me, praying for you guys. Thank you guys for listening. And as I say, stay safe, stay blessed, and stay hydrated. And I will see you guys soon. Bye.